Hello, this is Seth Fleming and welcome to another AFI 100 Greatest American Film List Review. Today we're going to review North by Northwest. It's another Hitchcock film. It's the closest thing Hitchcock ever did to an action film. Most of his films are suspense films. North by Northwest occupies the 40th position on the 1998 list and the 55th position on the 2007 list. And this movie stars Cary Grant as Roger Thornhill, Eva Marie Saint as Eve, and in his first major movie, Martin Landau as lead henchman Leonard. This is an action classic that actually stands up to movies today, even though it was made in 1959. It goes all the way from New York City, like Manhattan, to the Midwest and ends up at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. I've been to Mount Rushmore and it's very impressive. It's amazing. And this film was actually filmed there over above Mount Rushmore, and it was amazing that Hitchcock was able to pull this off because it's a national park. But at its most basic description, North by Northwest is a movie about mistaken identity. Roger Thornhill is an ad man, like Mad Men, and he's just fake and superficial, and he just wants to run around and visit his frou-frou clubs, and he's got a mother who's he reveres, but he's also distant. It's another one of his this Hitchcock weird relationship with women where you need them but you don't want to be around them, that kind of thing. He's all about the superficial lifestyle. Up until he gets mistaken for this guy named George Kaplan. He's mistaken when he's in his club. These henchmen mistake Thornhill for this guy named George Kaplan, and they take him to a mansion where they get him drunk and frame him for DWI just because they need something over him. It goes on from there where nobody recognizes him as Thornhill, but they recognize him as Kaplan. It isn't the easiest plot to follow, but it's about the Cold War, so basically what North by Northwest is about is the CIA has infiltrated this clandestine group who is selling American secrets to the Russians. Now, the CIA group knows that Thornhill is Thornhill. They say tough luck because they want to protect their man who's running on the inside. Essentially, Thornhill is hung out to dry. Along the way, he meets Eva Marie Saint, Eve character on the train, and they have a thing, and then she tells him to get away, but not too far away, where it's like a come here, get away kind of thing that Hitchcock is famous for. Now, he has a really unhealthy relationship with women where he reveres them and he wants them, but they're just not a real person to him. They're more like a doll that he can go away. Men are basically voyeurs and women have all the power. That's one of his ideas on women. So if you have to excuse that if you want to enjoy the movie without getting too deep into modern values of real female characters. But it's a really good film. It has spectacular shots of Rushmore, and it has some really amazing special effects for 1959. When you see a plane crash, my plane crash into a Freightliner gas tanker and the whole thing blows up, and you see people hanging from the faces of Rushmore. Cary Grant hangs from Lincoln's nose, and this is just unheard of for 1959. The James Bond series has stuff like this, but the first James Bond film came out in 1962, so this was probably 4 years before the Bond franchise was even started. This is like a Bond film. And you don't know if Eve is a good guy or a bad guy until later in the film. And you don't know what's going on because neither does Cary Grant's character, Roger Thornhill. And one interesting thing is, as Roger Thornhill's character goes on and on, chasing these spies, his suit gets dirtier and ripped and just tends to fall off, and it's like a shell. He's shedding his skin or his shell so he can become the real person over the fake person he was. It's a really interesting concept. It's been used in other films, but on TV shows, but I think it's really interesting that it's included here in Hitchcock's only action film. And you should watch for that. So, all in all, this is a really captivating film. When I was younger, I had to watch it a couple of times because I didn't really get the fact that the bad guys were selling secrets, because I was used to the James Bond way where they would have the Slayer and, stroking the cat. How are we going to, affect world domination? But this was a little subtle for me, which is why I explained what the movie was actually about. Martin Landau is the lead bad guy. Well, under the boss, who's the lead bad guy, and he's supposedly bisexual or gay. He's creepy, but I don't really think he's gay. Maybe he was gay in the 50s because, they had a whole different idea about what that was, but to me he was just creepy, so he might have been written as gay, but I didn't really see that in his character. He was just uncomfortable and creepy. Any Hitchcock film is worth watching, and they're some of the best films ever made. And that genre because it's so visual and so perfect. This film was almost not as good as the ones like Vertigo. Vertigo film was very clear on what the film was about, just fear, and this one is, being trapped and being chased. That doesn't mean it's a bad film. It's better than a lot of films. It stands up today against some of the new action films, but just trying to ignore the 1959 views on women or Hitchcock's view on women, and I think you'll enjoy it. Spy classic. If you like this film and this video, click like and subscribe, and I'll give you more, and have a good day.